It's FIFA World Cup 26! And I could not have cared less. Until I saw this. What is that font? And why is it so hard to read? Like a constant humming in my eyes. To figure out what was going on, I went down a rabbit hole. I forced myself to watch an entire game, analyzed their website, social media. I suffered. And here's the twist. It's actually not about the typeface. The typeface itself is fine, but the way they use it, that's where the juicy parts are. And there are so many lessons buried in here for your next web and UI design project. So let's kick it off. Okay, noch einmal. FIFA commissioned a custom typeface for the 2026 World Cup. It's called FWC 26. It's bold, it's striking, it's alive. Available in multiple weights and width, and honestly, as a display typeface, it absolutely kicks balls. Anyway, and FIFA uses it in mostly all caps, ultra condensed and black. Which, for a massive stadium banner, awesome! For a social media graphic meant to grab you, maravilloso! For a handful of words at large size, bonkers! But here's where it starts to fall apart. Imagine you walk past a pub. There's a World Cup game on and you have no idea who's playing. You glance at the scoreboard and you immediately regret it. The country names, tight, squarish letters, cramped together, hard to read at a distance, hard to distinguish from each other. The tri-codes? Anybody know what RSA stands for? Alright, it's South Africa, yeah. I'm professional. And yes, of course, that flag helps. That's Bosnia. Tricked you, it's Congo. Now, layer on the fact that this graphic appears across every kind of TV screen, stadium display, and streaming resolution imaginable, and legibility stops being a preference, it becomes a requirement. But someone at FIFA did notice one specific problem, and it was a big one. In FWC 26, the numerals are almost impossible to read on screen. And numerals? They tell you the score, the time, the player numbers, the stats, basically everything that makes football soccer. No, it's football. So they made a call, a smart call, and switched to Open Sans for the numbers and the TV graphics. Clock, score, the works. Reliable, legible, boring in the best way possible. If they would have used it otherwise, it would have been really messy. No, not that one. Messy in a bad way. Tell me, is that a /0 or an 8? You can't. Nobody can. And in low resolution, impossible. But hey, if they'd kept it, Austria might have won that game, typographically speaking. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, FIFA gets it. They made the right call, they learned their lesson, and then I looked at their social media. And this made me cringe harder than anything else they could have done. Seriously, everything under 20 pixels, secret writing, literally legible, hidden messages. Maybe it's a conspiracy, maybe it's just an inappropriate font. Either way, not great. And then I visited the FIFA Play Zone, not playful at all, their fantasy league platform, and I found player names in dense, ultra bold, ultra light text that you can't read, next to point values that are apparently just vibes. I guess fantasy is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Okay, what do we actually take away from all of this? Lesson 1. Condensed plus bold plus small in combination is a legibility disaster. Pick one, maybe two, not all three. That FIFA font is a great typeface, genuinely, but it needs a companion, a slightly more open version for smaller sizes and UI contexts. Like here. This is how the Fantasy League would have actually inspired you. Lesson 2. Legibility isn't always the priority, but you have to know when it isn't. The World Cup 26 logo, expressive, bold, a little chaotic, not very well drawn, like Martina Flor shows in this video. But that's okay for a logo. You'll figure out what it says eventually. For a scoreboard, you have 0.5 seconds. This is a whole different game. And lesson 3, contrast and weight need to match the size. Which one of these is easiest to read? I will bet everything that it's not the one on the far left. Full compressed black, screaming at you from a tiny box. Here, slightly wider, slightly lighter. Suddenly, breathing room appears and the words make sense again. And speaking of making things readable, if you want to go deeper on what actually makes a font work in UI and web design, what to look for, what to avoid, and how to stop making the same calls FIFA did, I write about exactly that every week in my Font Friday newsletter. Link is below. And if you enjoyed this video, one of these is probably next for you. Thanks a lot for watching, also for all the people that provided me with screenshots and ideas for this video. Thank you and see you in the next one.